rate of change and slope. So hopefully a lot of this vocab will be familiar. The first one is rate of change. Okay, that's basically the slope, at least the slope of a section of a line. Okay, and remember, slope is the change in your dependent variable, or y, over the change in your independent variable, or x. Another way to talk about this is rise over run, because rise is just your change over y, or your change in y over the change in x. Okay? And if you don't want to write down rise and run, that's fine if you're solid on the concepts. Okay, concept 1, finding rates of change from a graph. So hopefully we are familiar with finding slope when we have one continuous line. But if we have a broken graph, or a graph that's not linear, okay, so it's got different different rates of change for different parts of the graph, we need to know how to find the slopes or the rates of change for those certain sections. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is choose 2 points on our graph. All right. I've done these in different colors so it's easy to see, but your points are going to be generally the end points before the slope changes. Okay. So there's 2 different ways to do this. If it's a simple graph, if it's close to the origin, if the values are fairly small or fairly even, then you can just count. Okay, I can come here and I can say, okay, my y increases 1, 2, 3, 4 from this point to this point, and my x increases 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my change in y is 4, my change in x is 4, and so I have a slope of 4 over 4, or 1. Okay. Sometimes sometimes you will have very large values that make it harder to count to get to your rate of change. Maybe you have decimal values. In that case, it's going to be easier to subtract. Okay, so this point is at negative 1, negative 1, 1. Right, this point right here. And this point right here is going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and negative 2. So 5, negative 2. Okay. And these ones, yeah, I could count in this case, but in cases where you're not able to count, you can just subtract. Okay, just like finding the distance between 2 points or using the distance formula. I've got 5 and negative 1. Right, sorry about that. So finding the distance between these 2 points for our x values, I've got negative 1 and 5. So I'm going to have whichever point I want as point 1 and point 2. I'll keep it 5 minus negative 1, or 5 plus 1. So that's my x value, so that'll be on the bottom. Okay, and then my y value, I started with 5, so I got to start with negative 2, minus 1. But keep in mind, this should always be, it's not like the distance formula where you're going to square it and this negative becomes a positive. If it's a negative here, it should stay a negative in your slope. Okay, because I have a downward trending line, so that's going to be a negative slope. And I have negative 3 over 6, which is going to equal to negative 1/2. Okay, one more time, and this one I think we'll count again and go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 over 1, 2. So become 8, go over 2, or we're going to have a slope of 4. Your slopes can be positive whole numbers, they can be fractions, they can be negative, they can be pretty much anything, although we'll look later at a couple special cases for different types of linear equations.